Cleveland Cavaliers have to make changes. They just lost to the Indiana Pacers in 5 games. Shout out to the Pacers for going out there and taking care of business. You can say injuries played a huge part in this series, but that was the case last year. And look at what happened last year when they lost against the Boston Celtics. They fired J.B. Bickerstaff, their head coach. J.B. Bickerstaff was a very good head coach, in my opinion. Look at the work that he just did with the Detroit Pistons. He's turned that franchise completely around. You fired him for Kenny Atkinson. Kenny Atkinson is a top head coach in the NBA. We're talking about a Cavaliers team that just won 64 games in the regular season. They had the best record in the Eastern Conference. That's the second most wins that they've had in franchise history in the regular season. And I know what happened in game 2. You didn't have DeAndre Hunter. You didn't have Darius Garland. No Evan Mobley. You were still up by 20 points in game 2. And you lost that matchup because you were not zoned in to close out that game. You didn't have a closer. And trust me, this would tie in to game 5. The last couple minutes of game 2 was so annoying if you're a Cavaliers fan. They allowed 3 offensive rebounds. They had a dumb offensive foul and a crucial turnover and bounds. All of those plays led up to Tyrese Halliburton hitting that game-winning 3. And Donovan Mitchell had 48 points in that game. There was no reason to why they should have lost that matchup. And in game 1, you were outgunned by the Pacers. It's okay to admit that. You can drop the first game at home as long as you make up for it the next game. The Cavaliers did. So now you're down 0-2. They go on the road against the Pacers. Game 3, they blow them out. They look great. Game 4, they go against the Pacers again. The Pacers are killing them at halftime. They're up by 40-plus points. And in game 5, it's a back-and-forth encounter. This is the harsh part. You're up by 19 points and you blow this lead yet again in similar fashion to game 2. Missing free throws down the stretch, just like how you did in game 2. That's what you did in game 5. Donovan Mitchell had a chance to cut this lead in half. It was 100-106. They fouled him on the three-point line. He misses all 3 of his free throws, which is rare for Donovan Mitchell. He's damn near automatic from the free throw line. They get a crucial stop on defense. They get the ball too. Donovan Mitchell in the corner. He hits the corner 3. It's 103-106. The crowd, they're back into it. Late in the fourth quarter, they were off and on, but they're really into it. They're waving their towels. You see the camera shaking. They feel like, hey, we hit another 3. We get a stop. We'll be in a great situation. Nembhard goes down the court and one on Darius Garland. He makes his free throws. They go out there to get another chance. DeAndre Hunter throws the ball to Evan Mobley. He calms down with it and one opportunity. He misses his free throws. They had 7 straight missed free throws down the stretch. And Miles Turner in the corner hits the dagger. And that's it for the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's it for their postseason run. And back-to-back years in disappointing fashion. Now, last year, you had injuries to Donovan Mitchell, injuries to the front court against the Celtics. This year, you had injuries to DeAndre Hunter, Darius Garland, also Donovan Mitchell. He had to leave the last game early due to an ankle injury. He was able to play in tonight's matchup. You're dealing with the same problems over and over again. You can't go out there and run it back with this current roster. I'm sorry. It's not enough defense coming out of the backcourt. That's the first problem that you have. And Donovan Mitchell is a better player than Darius Garland on the offensive end. Donovan Mitchell is not known for being a great defender either. So I'm not going to come on here and say that Donovan Mitchell is one of the best defensive players in the league. He's far from it. But when I look at Darius Garland, he's more inconsistent from the offensive end than Donovan Mitchell. And look at tonight's game, and I know he's dealing with that toe injury. He's not the same player. Darius Garland, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He was 4-16 from the field, 0 of 6 from 3. He's just not good enough in terms of getting this team over the hump if Donovan Mitchell is out or if he has injuries around him. We saw Donovan Mitchell in game 2 have 48 points. Darius Garland hasn't had moments like that in the postseason. And I do think if you can move on from him and bring in a better two-way player, someone similar like a Drew Holiday, that's a very good situation with Donovan Mitchell. If you have an excellent defender in that backcourt that can go out there and take away possessions from a player like Tyrese Halliburton, That should open up a lot of things for the Cavaliers moving forward, but it starts with that backcourt defense, and right now they don't have it. They're too small in the backcourt. If you're going to have a backcourt with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, they have to be automatic from three. They have to shoot the lights out more times than not, and they have to be fully healthy. And Donovan Mitchell is their best player. He stepped up at crucial moments in this game. He did have to miss free throws, but he had 35 points, 8 of 25 from the field, 4 of 13 from three, but he hit crucial threes down the stretch. This is the problem with Donovan Mitchell. He goes into the postseason, he has these big-time games, but he deals with these injuries. You can come on here, you can say he should have made his free throws down the stretch. That is true, but he was the only player for majority of the game that stepped up on the offensive end alongside Evan Mobley. Everyone else was a disappearing act. Evan Mobley, 24 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist. And I'm not going to judge these players off of one game. It's the entire series that they had against the Pacers and what they did last year. And considering the fact that this new CBA is coming in and it's kicking everyone around, you can't afford to go out there and pay all of these players what they're getting paid right now. They exercised all their options when they brought in DeAndre Hunter from the Atlanta Hawks, the definition of a 3-and-D wing. And DeAndre Hunter was very underwhelming in this series against the Pacers. When you go against a team like the Miami Heat, and no offense to the Heat, it's a reason why they're a play-in team, you can get away with not being 100%. Darius Garland missed time in that series, but it's the Miami Heat. They don't have Jimmy Butler. So you can go out there, you can bully them around. But when you go against a team like the Indiana Pacers, your defense needs to be there every single level. And it was a piss poor effort by the Cavaliers on the defensive end of the court. Also in the front court. There was some games that I look at Evan Mobley. Dude, go out there and stop Pascal Siakam from getting to the rim. Go out there and close out on Miles Turner. Look at the dagger that Miles Turner hit on the Cavaliers in Game 5. No one is rotating over in the corner. And it was so many times I'm looking at that in this series. They're double teaming Tyrese Halliburton because of lack of defense due to the backcourt. And he's one of the best passers in the NBA. He's going to recognize that. He has high basketball IQ. They're just driving and kicking the entire time. And they're getting whatever they want at the paint. They're coming down with crucial rebounds down the stretch. The Cavaliers, you can say, well, they out-rebounded them. What does that matter if you can't out-rebound them when it matters the most down the stretch? Look at the second chance points in Game 2, also in Game 1. And you have two skyscrapers down low with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. And Pascal Siakam is coming down with a rebound. Obi Toppin coming down with a rebound over and over again. Miles Turner. And those second chance points, everyone's trying to get a rebound. It's wide open players on the perimeter, and they're killing you from three. The Pacers in Game 5 shot 43% from three, while the Cavaliers shot 26%. That's pathetic for a team that won 64 games in the regular season. And I do think that there's a world that a lot of teams that will call for Darius Garland. You can move on from him. And there'll be a situation as well to where you look at Jared Allen and you say, hey, he's one of the best defensive bigs you can have. He may be an offensive liability at times because he can't shoot the ball. You don't move on from Evan Mobley. You don't move on from Donovan Mitchell. You can still build this team around those two players. But it's a lot of questions that the Cavaliers have to answer this offseason. Max Strus in Game 5, he disappeared. 0 points, 0 for 9 from the field, 0 for 6 from 3. He did have 7 rebounds and 2 assists, but they got him to be a 3-point master. And that's what he's been in the past for the Cavaliers. He did not come up today. Ty Jerome only played 11 minutes. He was one of the best bench players that you can have in the regular season. He only had 8 points. And the reason why they didn't play him as much, lack of defense. DeAndre Hunter did have 12 points, but he was 5 of 12 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. The Cavaliers just didn't show up. They lost to a better basketball team. You can lean on those injuries, but once again, this is the same situation you ran into last year, and there's going to be a lot of roster movement in the Eastern Conference. It was breaking news today with Jason Tatum and the Celtics, and prayers to him. He's dealing with a torn Achilles. The reason why I bring up the Celtics in the Cavaliers video, that's a $500 million roster heading into next year. There's no way in hell the owner's going to go out there and fund that. It's damn near impossible. So I look at the contract with the Cavaliers. You can say it's a bunch of young players. Good. Go out there and bring in some veteran players that has won championships before. They have a championship pedigree. The championship window with the Cavaliers should be wide open with Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. You can't blame this on the coach like how you did with JB Bickerstaff. Kenny Atkinson did everything possible to go out there and put them in winning situations. I'm sick and tired in basketball. We're blaming the coaches all the time for when players don't step up. Could he have done a better job down the stretch in game 2 and also in game 1? Sure. But this is the same coach that came up with that game plan in game 3 that helped the Cavaliers win that matchup on the road against the Pacers. This is the same head coach that helped this team win 64 games, and Donovan Mitchell missed time on the back half of last season, coming towards the end of the stretch, dealing with this same ankle injury. So the excuses right now, the Cavaliers is blaming coaches, I don't want to hear it. Kenny Atkinson has done a phenomenal job in the past with other teams as well. It's time to move on for some of these players. In my opinion, get Darius Garland out of here. Try to trade him for a defensive player in that backcourt and move on from Jared Allen if you have to. Get some 3-and-D players and get some more shooting in the front court around Evan Mobley. And I look at Evan Mobley. He also had a questionable series. He didn't step up either. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about the Cleveland Cavaliers, and should they make major moves moving forward? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.